Hey guys, so it's currently late afternoon and I thought I'd make a video today. One of the things that I wanted to talk about today was the distinction between being homeless and being houseless, which might seem like the same thing for a lot of people. But I personally feel, and this is very much my own opinion, that there is an important distinction to be made between the two. So, for me personally, I am houseless, and that I grew up in a situation in which I very much could have been, on this path of, going to college and getting a job and having a place to be and feeling comfortable with that and feeling happy. And I think in a lot of ways I've tried doing that, but it just has never worked out for me. So I guess in order to make more sense when talking about that, I should bring you back a little bit to a time before now. So I guess today will be a little bit of a recap for me. So let's go back to the year 2016. I had just graduated high school. I had a 3.82 GPA, if I remember correctly. Definitely, did very well in school, tried my very best, did well in most subjects besides math. Fuck math. But, I had a very, very intense drive to do well in school. And one of the reasons for that, I would say, was that I, for the longest time, I had a lot of aspirations to go to higher education. And at the time, I really, really, really wanted to go to art school. Really bad. And I was lucky enough, my parents were very supportive of that, and I actually got the chance to both visit the Savannah College of Art and Design for a week-long seminar that was awesome, as well as I took a trip to Los Angeles with my mother, which, I'm from Colorado, so it's a vacation on its own. I took a trip to the Otis College of Art and Design in Los Angeles with my mother, and they gave us a lot of insight on that. So when it came time for me to, apply to these different schools, I got into all of them. And I actually got some of the most prestigious scholarships that came along with this, outside of, the one scholarship that these schools would give per year to someone very special, which I guess wasn't me, but that's okay, that's fine. But I got, thousands of dollars a year scholarships from these schools. But when I graduated, I was 17 years old, so I could not sign for my own student loans. I could not financially make that decision. And so in the light of that, I decided at that time to go to a local state school, which was the University of Northern Colorado, located in Greeley, Colorado. For those of you that don't know, Greeley, Colorado is what many people would call the armpit of Colorado. Not quite the crotch. The crotch would be more Pueblo, but that's beside the point. Look, I didn't have any real problems with Greeley, but there definitely were some things about Greeley that kind of sucked. Every Tuesday, the slaughterhouse would burn the blood of the cows that they slaughtered, and so the whole entire city would smell like a mixture of cow manure and like burning blood, which was disgusting. also, there was this kind of, unspoken agreement between all the Colorado kids that UNC was kind of like the loser school. And that, I was there because I actually had gotten a full tuition scholarship to go to this school. I still had to pay for room and board, but because of my ACT scores and just my general academic, experience, I had a big leg up going here. And, I tried to make the best of the situation. And I went and I applied to a lot of different, art classes while I was there and studied some French. But long story short, one night my roommate and I, his name was Hank. Hey, Hank, if you ever see this. Hank and I went to a park one night because I just really wanted to go smoke a bowl. And I've never told this story this way. I usually say I was going to study group or something, but I gotta be honest now because this is what this is all about. I wanted to go smoke a fucking bowl of weed because I was depressed and we couldn't smoke in the dorms because it was against the rules. And so I dragged my buddy Hank out with me. I asked him, like, do you want to go smoke a bowl of weed with me? And he didn't smoke. But he was happy to go out to this park with me somewhere and go smoke a bowl. And we went and we smoked a bowl, and then on the way home from that, we got hit by a drunk driver in a stolen vehicle and totaled his car. And I had a lot of injuries from the accident. And, it changed my life forever because I wanted to smoke a bowl. Wow, super after school special of me, right? No, so the weed wasn't the issue at all. I mean, that could have happened to anyone. But long story short, after this accident, I kind of had a little bit of like an existential crisis. I was like, fuck, like, I can't be at this school that I don't want to be at. Like, this shit sucks. And so I dropped out of college right after that, very shortly after that. I was having a really hard time even focusing in classes, which partly was due to the concussion that I got in the accident. And I am forever grateful that, I am okay after such a thing. Like, it could have been much, much worse. So that's not the moral of this story. But to make a long story short, and I'm sure I can make more videos on this in the future, but basically after that happened, I was kind of flailing around for a long time up until now. I've been a lot of different places. I spent some time in Arizona, Colorado, Florida, Costa Rica. I lived in Costa Rica for a while. I taught English for a minute. Came back to Colorado, was homeless for a while, like super homeless, like not houseless, but homeless. Sold some solar panels, or at least tried to with my sales experience. Worked at a grocery store. Had some issues with my back, had to get back surgery. Luckily enough, I was able to live with my mom at that point in time. But long story short, I've had a lot of bumps in the road, and I'm so tired of telling the story because it's such a fucking, just bumpy road. And, my story is not the important story here. I think the more important thing is what I've gotten out of it. So I'm going to talk about that. And if you want to hear about everything that happened in between, I'd be more than happy to make some videos on that as well. But long story short, after, several years of trying to get back on board, I've ended up living in my car in Portland, Oregon. And this specific turn of events, I do think, was very much affected by Corona, by COVID-19. I was living with my mom for a few months in between December of 2019 and March of 2020. And then I moved out for a while, and I was living with these two really nice girls in Fort Collins, Colorado. But I had planned to move out of Colorado in 2019 because I wanted to hit the road. I wanted to go see more and be my own person. I think a lot of my issues have been really kind of based in the fact that I thought that my mom was a problem for me. I don't know, that, I just felt like I had an expectation to live up to with my parents, and I kind of have mommy issues, I guess, or daddy issues, or whatever you want to call it. Like, I definitely had some issues with that. And I'm sorry, I know the lighting is really poor right now. But anyways, back to the topic of houseless versus homeless. This is not the situation that I necessarily pictured myself in at this point in life, based on, I guess, the things that I have done leading up to this point. But with that in mind, I think that this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. Wow, I don't know. This is exactly where I'm supposed to be right now. And I don't picture myself as homeless. And I know that might be kind of like crazy, and maybe that's not even like a thing, but I'm not homeless. I'm houseless. I am a normal human being that has chosen to live in their car. And there's a lot of challenges that come with that I am very much working out as they come. But, my main goal in life right now, with everything that I have been through, which I could never touch upon in one video, and I very, very clearly will probably experience so much more in later years, but everything that I've been through leads me to believe that right now this is where I'm supposed to be. This is who I am. And my current goal at this point in time is to meet people like myself, meet people that are not like myself, and truly dive into a world that I have never known. And I think that that's just where I'm at. I want to truly separate myself from anything that I've ever known. Any sort of, preconceived notions of privilege or preconceived notions of access to whatever. And I want to be who I am. And I think that maybe COVID has helped me to make this decision, because it's like, when the fuck else am I going to have this opportunity? When am I going to be able to live my life? Because I have been putting myself on hold for far too long. And maybe I've been waiting for the moment that I could do so in a much more comfortable setting, but here's where we are now. And I have to roll with that, okay? I have to roll with that. But if you're watching this video right now, I love you in the most creepy way possible. I do. I love you. I mean, I appreciate that you're willing to watch this. And I hope to keep making videos about this as I continue to kind of delve deeper into what it is that's going on right now. And it's a mess. It's a shit show. I know, my very first video on this channel, besides the jellyfish bullshit, I mean, this shit's like real. This is not some fabricated like influencer stuff. Like, this is like, I'm not making these videos for a profit. I'm not making these videos to try and start a career. Like, this is like, I'm making these videos to document something that I think is important. And I'm glad you're here with me. So with that in mind, I'm gonna just, you know, probably end the video here, but I'm gonna light up a cigarette first because that's apparently my new trademark. Is, oh my god, I can't even do this. Excuse me, hold on. Let's see if we can even accomplish this task right now. Hey, we did it. Okay, cool. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I know this was kind of like a total bummer of a video, but I'm glad I made it, and I will see you next time. I love ending videos. Bye.